redemption is possible and that they're valued and that they matter. Some of our clients feel like they haven't had a voice before, that they haven't had someone stand up for them. So to be able to show them that grace and mercy and kindness and dignity, and then to tell their story with dignity, really matters.
Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to Framework Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Kent Engel, president of Southeastern University. Joining me is our co-host, Michael Steiner, SU Senior Vice President for Advancement and Innovation, and excited to welcome our guest today, Blair Allen. Thank you for being with us, Blair.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm so excited to be here.
We get to dive in to what it means to lead with integrity, to lead with compassion in one of society's most, I think, probably complex and challenging arena, the criminal justice system. We're honored to welcome you. You are the elected public defender for Florida's 10th Judicial Circuit, serving the citizens of Polk, Highlands, and Hardee counties, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yes, sir.
And Blair is also a Polk County native, made history this year as the first woman elected to this particular role. So Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Over her career, she's worked in nearly every division of the Public Defender's Office, defending thousands of clients from minor offenses to capital cases, and she absolutely brings a remarkable perspective on justice and leadership and community. And in addition to her professional roles, she's a member of her church community, dedicated wife and mother of 4, and a passionate advocate for equity and dignity in the legal system. So grateful for this conversation today. And I want to begin with your story. What first inspired you to kind of pursue a career in law and eventually into public defense?
Yeah, thank you for asking. And again, thank you for having me here today. Growing up, I always had a penchant for helping people. I was the one that would stand up for people in school. I did a lot of work in our church. And my parents, one was a school teacher, my father's a lawyer, instilled in me a deep love of service and serving the community. I saw my father serve in his Rotary Club. I saw my mother serve in our church. And to much is given, much is expected. So I really did want to get in a career of service. I actually went to college to be a social worker. And I went to a small college up in Virginia. And then my senior year, I did an internship as a part of my thesis project for my sociology and anthropology degree at the Virginia Commonwealth Attorney's Office, their version of our state attorney's office here in Florida. And I worked there with 2 other prosecutors, and I got to go to court. I got to see court hearings, and it really just inspired me to then go to law school. I thought I wanted to be a prosecutor, and I did go to law school. I did several internships in legal services also while I was in law school, and then ultimately graduated from law school and became a prosecutor for a year. I've always wanted to help people, and I did that for a year as a prosecutor and realized very quickly I don't like putting people in jail. That was not for me. Right, sure. And so when I switched to the public defender's office after that year as a prosecutor, I felt like I could help people in a way that was more reflective of who I am as a person, and reach more clients and reach more people with the public defender's office. And it's kind of I think it's overused, but really, if you find a job you love, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, right.
And I've been doing that since, for almost 18 years as a public defender, as an attorney, and I love it. Yep. It is challenging, hard work, but there has never been a day that I've left the office that I haven't felt like I didn't make a difference in somebody's life. And it could be something very small. Making that phone call to my client's mother, right? Because that's what my client wanted me to do. or whether it's, talking to the prosecutor and trying to get that plea offer that my client really, really wanted, arguing something to the judge on behalf of my client and being able to get him that probation sentence so that he could continue to provide for his family while he's providing his debt to society. So, you can tell I can talk all day about the Office of the Public Defender, but I'll stop.
Well,
I'd
love for you to kind of break down for audiences, because for all of us that don't know, we get most of our understanding of the legal system from Law and Order and TV and all that kind of stuff. So you get this kind of picture of the prosecutor is putting the bad guys away, and the defense attorney is defending the bad. So what are some misconceptions people have about these two roles and how we think about the legal system?
One, I think people, and maybe it is from television or otherwise, but people think that the prosecutor and the defense attorney are going to be antagonistic at each other's throats at all times. And it's completely not only adversarial, but antagonistic. And it's not like that, particularly not here in Polk County or Highlands County or Hardy County, where we do live in a smaller community. I can argue my position professionally in court. The prosecutor sees things differently. But then we leave the courtroom and I'm talking to the prosecutor, hey, can I talk to you about that other client that I have who needs this plea offer? Because if you burn every bridge in court by being antagonistic, then you're not going to be able to work out other clients' cases with the prosecutor. So that's misconception number one, that adversarial system extends outside the courtroom, because it doesn't. We also live in a smaller community where the prosecutor's children may be on my child's soccer team, right? You see them out. We go to the same church, right? So you say hello. So we are very fortunate to be able to do our jobs professionally inside the courtroom with a high expectation of professionalism, but then be able to go outside the courtroom and continue our lives as citizens, not as antagonistic advocates. So that's misconception number one. Misconception number two is that people have this idea that public defenders especially, we are standing in the way of justice being served. And that could not be further from the truth. As a child growing up and still today, I love rules. Love rules, especially as a parent of 4 kids.
Sure,
love
absolutely.
rules. And so public defenders believe that everyone should follow the rules, whether that person is a judge, a prosecutor, the police, whoever it may be. So we are rule followers. We like the rules. We just want them consistently applied to everyone. Across the country, post-COVID, and even still today, there are shortages of public defenders. We are fortunate that we have continued to be able to hire attorneys and staff and be able to provide representation in our courtrooms. But across the country, it's not like that. And regrettably, what happens is that you cannot hold somebody indefinitely in jail pre-trial if there isn't a public defender, because you can't have a trial unless you have that public defender, that court-appointed counsel. So people who are charged with crimes are being and have been released from jail because there aren't enough public defenders. Now, I live in this community. I want a safe community. That to me does not sound safe. So the public defenders actually play a really important community safety function in ensuring that a victim can have their day in court, right? A testifying witness in a case can have their day in court. We ensure that justice wheels have grease and we keep the system moving. So I think that's misconception number two.
Wow, that's awesome.
And you've handled everything from misdemeanor cases to high-profile death penalty trials, and that is kind of intense. What kind of leadership mindset does that require when you face such a multitude of cases?
You have to be able to exercise grace, whether that is towards the clients, whether that is towards the staff that's helping you, and whether that's towards yourself. It's difficult, hard work. If I have a bad day at work, I know that I've got to go home. I've got to put it behind me. I've got to get up the next day, having learned from that, and refocus my attention so that I can best defend the rest of my clients. You cannot get caught up in what happened yesterday or last week's trial. You have to learn from it and keep moving forward. And you have to give yourself grace. And so, especially with my staff, I encourage people to be able to talk if they are feeling overwhelmed, if they are feeling like they need a break. We have a mandatory vacation policy in my office. You have to take vacation because we need to make sure that we are recharged and ready to go to be able to devote the time and the resources of ourself into those clients' cases to make sure that everyone gets justice.
Yeah, it's good.
I love it. And so now, as the public defender, you're not just practicing law; you're also leading a team, and you're leading a team of attorneys and staff and different things. How do you approach leading people in such a kind of demanding, oftentimes quick reactive environment?
I try to be as transparent and approachable as possible. I've been a line attorney in the office. I was a line attorney for 17 years before I became a public defender, the elected public defender. So people in the office know me. They know who I am. And making sure that they realize that they can be heard. They have great ideas, right? I think I had great ideas when I was a line attorney. And so being able to communicate those and move our office forward in a positive direction that is even more client-centered and justice-seeking than before is important. So I make sure that everyone knows that they can come talk to me. Any one of my 150 employees, you want a meeting with me? Absolutely. Schedule a meeting with me. I'd love to sit down and talk to you. Before I took office in January, I met with every single employee face-to-face. Talk to them. What are your concerns? What would you like to see done in the office? What kind of ideas do you have? And that was important because I want to make sure that everyone knows that they're important, that they are heard, and that they are valued.
Yeah. You're a person of faith. How has your faith influenced the way you approach, justice and mercy and leadership in our legal system?
I think to myself, when I try to explain what we do, is that public defenders are really doing mission work. We are doing what Jesus would have done, which is helping the poor, helping the disfavored, helping the condemned, and showing them that redemption is possible and that they're valued and that they matter. Some of our clients feel like they haven't had a voice before, that they haven't had someone stand up for them. So to be able to show them that grace and mercy and kindness and dignity, and then to tell their story with dignity really matters. I have believed, especially with clients that we have long-term attorney-client relationships with our violent crime cases or our clients who are accused of murder, that is a relationship that has to be built on trust. The only way you can do that is by believing that people are capable of redemption. And that's where my faith really comes in. I strongly believe in people. I have faith in kindness and respect, and that goes a long way. Sometimes you hear about clients not getting along with their public defenders, and that has really been the rarity for me for my 18-year career, because people know me. My clients know me. I am very open with them, and they can see that I believe in them. And I believe that people are capable of change, and I believe in our system, and that I will do everything possible to make sure that the system is fair, is just, and is merciful, because that's what Jesus would do.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
With such a full plate, but with that belief system, what do you do? What are some of the rhythms that you do in your life to stay grounded emotionally, spiritually, as you're kind of navigating all these systems?
So I am very involved in my church. I teach Sunday school, second and third grade.
Wow.
Love it. It is probably one of the best parts of my week. And, making sure that every morning I get up and I take my dog for a walk. And that is my me time. I pray while I walk. I connect with God. And it gets me energized and reframed in a mindset ready to work each day. That I make sure to spend a lot of time with my kids. I do have 4 kids, ages 5, 11, 12, and 14. And so it's important to me to take a break from my work mindset to then switch into mom mindset and make sure that we're doing the things that matter to them and that show that they are valued. So whether it's attending youth group with them, volunteering at their youth group, on Sunday nights, making sure that we instill in them love of service and love of God and faith and recenter them. That is also very, it puts me in a better spiritual mindset to be able to do that as well. That being said, I might get all the kids in bed and then I'm opening up my computer and working again. But the most important thing is I don't like when people say about a work-life balance. It's not a balance. It's more of a juggling act. And you do the best that you can. And sometimes I feel like, wow, I rocked today. That was great. And then other times I'm like, well, at least the kids are wearing pants to school.
Right. Right.
So you just do the best you can every day, and you get up tomorrow, you show everyone love, and you do better.
Yeah, I love it.
That's great. You, as we mentioned earlier, you made history as the first woman elected public defender in your circuit. What does that milestone mean to you? What advice would you give young leaders, especially young women who want to step into public service, want to step into legal advocacy?
Never take no for an answer. I look back now, being a parent, and realize how challenging I must have been as a child. Because when my parents told me no, I heard, they haven't said yes yet. Right? How do I get to yes? So that's really what I have done in school, in my career. It's, you told me no, I'm going to figure out how to get that to a yes. Don't give up. People told me earlier that, we weren't ready, perhaps, for that. And I just didn't understand that. And if you sit down and you talk to people, like I said, I believe in people. If you talk to people, you can change their mind about things, right? And so I just made sure that I stuck to my values. I didn't change who I am. And I talked to a lot of people and worked really hard. And I don't think that I was elected as the first female public defender. I was elected as the best candidate for the job. I have always worked extremely hard. And if 100% was expected of me from my parents, I did 110% to get beyond that. And that's what I think that if you want to do public service right, that is the mindset that you have, putting service and people before yourself. Running for office, one of the hardest things I've ever done. But I realize that if the advice that I'm giving to my children is the hardest way, is usually always the best way, then you've got to set that example and you do the hard things and you show people that you can do it.
Yeah, that is so good. Well, we're grateful to have you on the podcast today. Love your heart, your approach to service, your care, your compassion. Overall, I mean, you're all about justice, but it's justice tempered with mercy and grace, and I love that. So any client that you have is fortunate to have you as their legal counsel. But thank you for being on the show and sharing with us, and just grateful.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you.
love it. And if you'd like to learn more about the work that Blair is doing, make sure you visit the Florida 10th Circuit Judicial Court System, the Public Defender's Office online. You can go to the website, and you can check out ways to support legal aid and community. There's actually a lot that we can do as a community to come alongside and partner with the work that you guys are doing. And so it's all on there. Make sure you go check it out. Thank you so much for listening to Framework Leadership, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everybody.
Thanks for joining us on Framework Leadership. If you're watching on YouTube, hit like and subscribe so leadership insights keep coming your way. You can also catch every episode on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and for bonus resources, subscribe to the Framework Leadership newsletter at kentingle.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Kent_Ingle and at Dr. Michael Steiner, and on X at Kent_Ingle, and on Facebook at Kent.Ingle to stay up to date with the podcast and everything happening at Southeastern University.
Before you go, here's something every freedom-loving parent and patriot needs to hear. The battle for the next generation is happening right now in our classrooms and colleges, and I wrote a book to help you fight back. College Without Communism is officially out now. It's your guide to exposing the lies, defending truth, and finding real alternatives to woke indoctrination. Whether you're sending a kid to college or just to know what's really going on behind the scenes in education, this book is absolutely for you. So head to kentingle.com today. Get the truth, equip your family, and change the culture.